Over the week, we've had a lot of crazy news unfolding inside of the world of ALGS, from roster issues and teams coming in a last-minute hope, trying to make things work, looking like things was going to happen, and then the sad stories come to an end. And then also you've got EWC qualifications, you've got the Pro League match point finals that took place. What was the drama behind all of that? Players getting called out for scamming at $26,000. What is going on in ALGS news? We're here to keep you up to date. First off, let's dive into the match point finals that just took place just days ago. You had inside of the world of EMEA Go Next here in first place. This is a massive chip on their shoulder, right, going into this, because last year they win the world championship, this organization, but the team is not able to retain this roster, being that they are now big dogs. So these big dogs go somewhere else, and they are not, I would say probably all in all, they are probably surpassing, the actual roster itself is surpassing what Go Next has become. But in this instance, you got to give it to them. Go Next has had, a moment where they deserve some flowers. So Go Next was actually able to win in match point format. You could see here, though, look at Alliance. I know I ride Alliance a lot. People hate me for it, whatever. But you could see how much they were dominating in the first half of this. And then going into the end, things were not going their way for sure. But on the top here, Go Next, they did not really dominate ever at all. They had one decent game here with 7 kills. But after that, it was not really a good showing until the very end where it mattered most. And this is where you get some flack from the match point format, because you're going into 11 games and they haven't really done consistently well. They slip by into match point, and then boom, they pop off in order to win. And, not even pop off, but, they get a good win here in order to win the event. So nice, but look at this 109 second place team. If this is not the definition of Alliance, I don't know what is. Like, literally outscoring everybody, but not winning, getting second place. They're just such a good firepower team. Navi here in third, Ronin in fourth, Gaming Gladiators in fifth, Dragons in sixth, Zero Tenacity, Mouse Esports, FaZe Clan, Cybercats, 10K, Onyx, Team Nemesis, Aurora, UAIM, Nephilim, Zipline Mafia, Team War, VCGO, and SJP2 here in the bottom. Unfortunate set of events, obviously, that you weren't able to get Nasky's team here at 10K where they needed to be. So unfortunately, they will not be moving on. You'll see some more of that, these sad tweets, in just a minute. But I also want to go over the North American results. I have been giving ROC some flack. I said, look, since this team came together, they just kind of felt like they should have been better, but it was the same storyline for them. Look, not a lot of domination. They're not doing good all game or all tournament, and then they win finally in Game 10, and it punches their ticket to the victory. Also, not leading in points. They actually had 2 other teams ahead of them in points, Furia in second, NIP in third, which, once again, also another hats off to Furia. They've been one of those teams where they can do good in a Pro League event. They can do good in scrims, but when it comes to a match point final, they have never really been one to shine. They kind of like just fall off the face of the earth for some reason. So Furia in second place, pretty good result from them. They probably are upset with that. Obviously, Game 10 here in fourth place. Probably wanted to convert that one. Just wasn't able to happen. But definitely a better performance than I expected. And you'll see with these 2 teams on top, that means some of the teams that we expected to do better obviously were not so. So you have NIP here in third. You've got All Gamers in fourth. Team Orchid in fifth, which honestly I felt like this was a surprising shift. We know that Hambito, Rambo are a talented duo. Playing with Lux is, on paper it made sense. We just didn't really immediately see the results. I felt like TSM still was a better team, but, match point finals are match point finals. They are what they are. Team 100 Thieves in sixth. I'm going to say it again. 100 Thieves they've just not been delivering the results that I expected to see. Falcons in 7th, TSM in 8th, Liquid Alienware in 9th. But I got to give it to TSM, though. They did have a nice stretch where they were actually consistently doing some podium finishes, and you weren't seeing that from ROC. They just they did their job at the very end where it mattered most. Virtus Pro in 10th, NRG in 11th, Fusion in 12th, Shopify Rebellion in 13th, LG in 14th. This was a big one. We'll talk more about this one in a second. KOI in 15th, Twisted Mind, CTE, Flat, Valenius, and Sentinels as well here at the bottom. Kind of a surprising finish from Sentinels, But LG, unfortunately, along with Nasky from the EMEA region, did not make it. So Naughty comes out to say that I've been at the lowest point in my life for the past 12 months, both Apex and non-Apex related. Lots of stress, going to go the hardest I've ever gone before to end year 5. Been learning so much from what it feels like never-ending failure. I finally feel like I know how to become a great player, and I'm just itching to play more. Pro League in a month and 2 weeks, so until then. Congrats to Sauce and ROC for the win, and best of luck to the EWC qualified teams. So, obviously unfortunate for him, but you'll also see Nocturnal come out to say it wasn't in the cards. I'm sorry to the LG fans and Luminosity. Out of the EWC run for now, Shuby also says first placement off EWC. This was the weekend that I felt that was all going to mesh together, and some unfortunate starter games. Took game 9 and couldn't convert game 10. Defeated, but it's not over. Obviously not the result that they wanted. Nasky also, similar situation, saying we didn't make it. The impossible comeback did not become a reality. I know it was a long shot, but after last weekend, I was filled with so much hope. We had an amazing set of scrims this week, which boosted the morale and hope even more. I'm absolutely devastated, and at least if we had done bad last week, then today's defeat wouldn't have hurt so much because we were given so much hope. I really can't put into words how much sorrow that I'm feeling, and I wish we could have pulled this off for all the supporters involved. It really does suck. Oversight Esports did come out with 2 things, obviously. Year 5 midseason playoff official groups that we now have. Let's dive into this. You've got Pool 1 and Pool 2. So you're going to see, obviously, the region that they're coming from as well. But Oversight also says it looks like groups were not placed based on Pro League placement, but overall CS points. Here are the updated groups, and scrims will begin tomorrow at 7 a.m. Pacific time. And as of right now, 2 blocks of 8 games back to back. Here are the official groups as we follow. Falcons in Pool 1. Gen G in Pool 1. You've also got QAD in Group 1, or Pool 1. You've also got NIP, AGAL, Sentinels, Furia, Navi, Noah's Fox, Interforce 36, Team Nemesis, Fnatic, Team Orchid, Kinnetrip Gaming, TSM, Zero Tenacity, Mouse Esports, Wolves, Edward Gaming, and KOI in Pool 1. Now, in Pool 2, you've got Alliance, Shopify Rebellion, VKG, 100 Thieves, NRG, Twisted Minds, Unlimit. You've also got Sadel. You've got SBI Esports, Rival Esports, JD Gaming, Liquid Alienware, Virtus Pro, RRX, Go Next, Gaming Gladiators, ROC, Ronin, Crazy Raccoon, and Fusion. So honestly, both sides are pretty even, I feel like. You've got your heavy hitters. You've also got your stragglers, if you will. So I feel like these pools are pretty evenly balanced, and I do like them. Also important to note that the maps have now been confirmed. Still waiting on the date and time of official POI draft, but scrims will start on Tuesday due to the teams needing to adjust their schedules and vote on time, location, and format. But during group stages, you're going to have World's Edge, and then 3 E-Districts, and then 3 Storm Points, and then 2 Broken Moons. Going into semifinals, you'll have 3 Broken Moons, 2 E-Districts, 2 Storm Points, and 3 World's Edge. And then finals here, you'll have E-District, World's Edge, Broken Moon, Storm Point, and then Snake. So obviously semifinals probably going to be a little bit rough with a triple World's Edge and triple Broken Moon, but they'll get through it. So interested to see how all this plays out, obviously, and we'll keep you up to date as these things do develop. Now, speaking of EWC, it is important to note that we do have confirmation already that Hambino will not be attending with Team Orchid, despite obviously their recent success and their momentum going into this. Hambino has kind of made it clear, and I will say has been consistently consistent in this. And that is a fact that obviously there's been a lot of backlash that we spoke about with Respawn partnering up with this EWC in general, being in Saudi Arabia. And after the game was made and popularized around the idea with their stance of LGBTQ and all of that, and obviously Saudi Arabia as a country having an opposing stance to it. So how can you say that you're for all these things and then sign all these deals to host events inside of countries that have opposing views? Well, so obviously there's been that backlash. We've talked about that backlash for a while. Hambino making a stand to say that there will be no attendance on his side, and so we'll go from there. Now, according to Hambino's post-regional final stream, their sub for EWC will be Circe, and also Lux will probably be the IGL, but Ram will probably play a role too. So still talented players. No surprise here. We'll see, obviously if they're able to keep that momentum going forward, or if missing out on their big IGL, which has contributed so much to their success, is going to be a problem. Speaking of problems, there is a big problem that has been going on over the last 2 days. There has been a massive accusation, which was followed up basically by confirmation, that World Championship Zidane has basically been accused of scamming $26,000 from their Champs prize money out of the coach. And actually you would even see him come out to say, I've stayed quiet for a while, but it's time to speak up. Zidane owes $26,000 from the Champs prize pool and has refused to pay me. I invoiced him and he asked, yet he's been ignoring me for a month. I've reached out privately, repeatedly, and have tried every possible route to resolve this. And I was even told by people close to him that he already spent the money. What's worse is that he's just justifying not paying me because he believes our team, quote, messed him over. And I've done everything I could behind the scenes. I've never wanted to come to this, but I'm now going public because I don't know what else to do. This tweet is going to bring awareness and hopefully get what I'm rightfully owed. Screenshots are attached for full transparency. And let's just say this went on and on and on and on, and it was basically like just turned into an admission. Like this, just crash out moment, like on steroids. So his first tweet was basically saying all the suckers in the comments cry a little more. It feels good. He goes on to start explaining things, to say he comes out here to cry, and that's all and well and good. But when you tell someone, don't worry, bro, we'll kick you, but you'll be paid and stay in the org until you find a team. And a few weeks later, I receive a contract saying that I'm kicked on 6/16. Otherwise, those who worry about him don't worry, because I was such a bad human that I accepted that his coach, who is just an analyst, by the way, to be paid the same salary as us players, which makes him one of the best paid coaches in the game. Whereas, whatever. Obviously the translation from Google, not doing a great job. But you can see this guy is just basically trying to make excuses for why this coach was screwed over and why this coach was not paid. He goes on to say some other things, but you would just basically see the comments like, dude, it's kind of cooked. Like so many people in the comments were just saying like, there's no excuse for this. There's, nobody's like riding with you. No one's siding with you. No, you've not made a fair point in all of this. And so then he comes out to say this in actual English so we can understand instead of Google Translate. To make everything clear, I will explain here step by step. It was not in the contract that we had in our previous org, which was only players that take that money. You told me that I would stay benched and be paid for the duration of the contract that was supposed to be end on February next year. My salary per month times 12 divided by 2 because I'm on the bench. Because you told me that, I refused many offers from other orgs that was not worth it to leave Navi. So after that, I stood chill because I thought it was safe to wait for the best offers and not join a team just to be playing and paid. But I've been told at the last minute that I'm kicked, which screwed me to join any teams and screwed all my plans for the year, EWC, Pro League, and LANs. Also, you lied about the fact that I spent money or anything and that this is defamation, saying BS to make me look worse. And all of this basically came to these two. I think these two top comments are a big conclusion. You would basically see this. Confusing Cutie says, they call it an honor system for a reason. If you choose not to abide by it, okay. But now people will see you have zero honor, zero integrity, and shows your word can't be trusted unless it's written on paper with judicial consequences. That's a really good point. No one wants to work with someone like that. Also, Rendea is saying, be serious. No player or org with half a brain is going to trust someone who moves like that. Withholding $26,000 over hurt feelings isn't a good look. You're tanking your own reputation for nothing. Every tweet is just ego and zero self-awareness. It's pretty painful to watch. He responded, so if it's only about ego then, and basically, it just seems like, I think Sav's also, lesson for both, put everything on paper. Both of these guys, I guess, got some sort of what was coming. Despite that, you could say that the coach that's missing out on $26,000 probably got the worst end of that stick. So yeah, anyways, long story short, it continues to get nasty. Former teammate also comes out to explain some stuff. And long story short, that entire team situation looked like an absolute cluster that nobody wanted to be involved in. And yeah, it was horrendous. So screw that situation. Interested to see what your thoughts are down below on it. For lighter news, I think this is awesome. Crazy Raccoons Raz has returned from mandatory military service. This obviously was a big like farewell goodbye video that happened years ago from like how all the OG goats, as they watched such an OG in Raz basically leave the Apex ALGS scene to go and have to go to mandatory military service. So it's pretty exciting because obviously, you know, you just want to see someone like that back in the scene, if at all. And they also had a return stream as well. So interested to see what continuously develops into this situation. Obviously, whatever plans, you know, there are, I think it will be fully supported just because people love Raz. I mean, it's one of those things where whatever Hal does for the rest of his life, people are probably going to support Scump the same way. Scump could go play Rocket League if he wanted. People are going to show up and just, you know, just be there because it's Scump. I know the community over there across the pond loves Raz. I think a lot of people here in the North American scene love Raz as well. So obviously best of luck and best wishes to him as well. Interested to see what your thoughts are down in the comment section below about all the topics mentioned in today's video. Like and subscribe if you want to stay up to date with everything going inside the world of ALGS. And until the next time, we'll see you all later.